This is Rudkowski of WeAreChange.org here at the International Students for Liberty 2015 conference. I'm joined by our good friend Carlos Morales. Now, if you don't know Carlos, you haven't been on our YouTube channel, which is not good. But Carlos is actually a whistleblower. He was working for the CPS and exposed many corrupt, illegal activities by that state-run institution. Now, I've been talking to Carlos. He's been doing a lot of research, a lot of homework. He also has written a book, but a lot of important information that Carlos revealed has been added upon because he's been studying specifically medical kidnapping. Now, Carlos, what is medical kidnapping?
Well, first, thanks for having me on your show. You know, the book came out recently. It's called Legally Kidnapped, The Case Against Child Protective Services, found at legallykidnapped.net. Now, the idea of medical kidnapping is essentially the catastrophic, epic in proportion, terrible actions committed by hospitals right now of calling Child Protective Services every single time a parent is deciding to try and get a second opinion for rare health disorders. As a result, Child Protective Services comes in, states that they have things like Munchausen's by proxy, saying that the parent is negligent, and then taking that child out of the parent's hands and placing them in the hands of foster homes.
Yes. Now, Carlos, you also broke the story of how CPS gets paid, and there's an incentive to take away children away from their parents. But is there any example that you researched or you found out with a particular person that is really shocking or that really just blows your mind with medical kidnapping?
Now, as far as the statistics of medical kidnapping, it's getting harder and harder to understand only because of the fact that they keep so much of the information secretive. Now, a huge problem, though, is actually a result of the Medicaid Act. So essentially, if you have a child with a rare disorder and the parent states, well, I can't afford to take care of that particular issue right now, or I don't want to go through the means that you are suggesting us to do, then the foster homes or the state can then take over the rights of the child, and everything is paid for by Medicaid, and they continue to bill and bill and bill and bill.
So is that a part? Did that change because of Obamacare?
Obamacare actually doesn't have that much to do with it. The recent cases of medical kidnapping may have been going on for longer than we thought. It's just a result of more media coverage that this is actually starting to come out more.
Now, I know the research and just finding everything about this specific issue has been extremely difficult. Can you tell us about your research process and some of the revelations that you found out?
Yeah, absolutely. I worked with some of the individuals from Health Impact News, medicallykidnapped.com, because those individuals are working incredibly hard to talk to parents who are having to deal with CPS, including the woman rather recently who lost the rights to her 17-year-old child because that child did not want to get chemo. A 17-year-old, the fact that we're even using the term child is absolutely ridiculous. That is an adult, and if they choose to want to not use chemo or to use chemo, that is their call. Instead, right now, that person is stuck in a mental health facility over the course of the last 3 months, and it's disgusting. How is taking away someone's freedom healthy for them?
No, the stories are just insane, especially the ones that you were revealing to us beforehand. What key important elements do people need to understand when it comes to medical kidnapping?
Well, just keep in mind the fact that at any point, Child Protective Services can be called on you. And it can be for a massive amount of things, including, which I saw in effect, individuals who admitted to their health practitioners that they had used marijuana at some point. Those health practitioners then go ahead and call Child Protective Services and they end up getting their kid removed. So keep more of that information kind of secretive if you don't trust the individuals who you're dealing with. Yeah. And that goes for social media, that goes for everything. I understand the marijuana advocacy movement, but going out and posting pictures of yourself smoking weed while your baby's behind you might not be a very good idea.
Yeah, there's one particular case in Texas, and correct me if I'm wrong, the father used to smoke marijuana. There was a raid on his house. They found one joint. They took away the kid, and the kid died in foster care.
Yeah.
Are there other cases, or do you want to expand on that case? And what other important information do you want to add to just this one particular topic?
Well, when it comes to the marijuana use thing, as I brought up on your show before, only 20% of removals from parents into foster homes are for physical or sexual abuse. A vast majority of cases are for drug use, and a huge chunk of that is for marijuana use. The amount of children who have been taken from parents and due to the fact they admitted to using marijuana, and then having those children then raped in foster home is absolutely staggering. And I hope for the betterment of individuals to recognize the fact that Child Protective Services is not an agency which helps out children, but in fact hurts them, and they've done it time and time and time again.
Yeah, and in the last video we did, you went over in great detail about how horrible the whole foster care system is and how it put kids in danger instead of actually protecting them. The first video we did, these are all videos that are going to be in the description below so you could actually watch. The first video, you exposed the blatant corruption within the whole entire CPS system that you worked for. Now, Carlos has also been working with people one-on-one, individually, helping them deal with this kind of state authority that has been coming into people's lives and has been sometimes doing a lot of wrongs. Any other piece of research that you want to put out there that to you sticks out on all the extensive work that you have been doing on this very key important topic?
Well, it was actually doing your show that kind of inspired me to end up writing a book on the subject, which again can be found on legallykidnapped.net, that explains exactly how to deal with Child Protective Service investigators if they come to your home to try and take away your children, and it has already helped hundreds and hundreds of families to prevent children from going into foster homes. So I duly recommend going to that first. If there's information there that did not help you, if you went through it and everything else, it didn't help, then of course you can message me, go through Child Protective Services Victim Support, which can be found online as well.
And then with medical kidnapping, so just to put everything in together, it's specifically when people ask for a second opinion. Are there any other instances when this happens?
Okay, there's been quite a few other altercations in which this has occurred, including instances in which people were skeptical of things like vaccinations, when parents admitted to the use of marijuana, when they were drug tested, say 2 months into a pregnancy, not realizing the fact that they used weed, say 8 weeks ago. Then it comes out in a test that they tested positive, and those children were then removed from those homes where they were stuck, and those children ended up getting placed in foster homes where they're 7 to 8 times more likely to be physically or sexually abused, 6 times more likely to be placed in psychotropic drugs, and 6 times more likely to die than if they stayed in an abusive household. Yeah. This is epically terrible. Yeah. And the fact of the matter is that a lot of people aren't acknowledging what is going on because it is attacking and hitting up minority groups and those who are impoverished. That's why 40% of foster homes are made up of black children, even though they only make up 8 to 10% of the U.S. population as a whole. This is just an extension of a program which is designed to destroy the family. Wow.
Staggering facts. And with the changing drug laws within the United States, is it having an impact on this kind of medical kidnapping?
With the staggering, can you say that again?
With states like Colorado legalizing marijuana, has this affected medical kidnapping in any way, shape, or form, or had no impact?
Well, actually, when it comes to the states like Colorado or states in California, as I mentioned before, even if it's legal, technically, they're still going after these families. Wow. And it makes it even worse in places where you have medical marijuana licenses, because then they go and attack those families who have those licenses. It's almost like a license for Child Protective Services to come and harass and bombard you. Because since it's still federally illegal within our own society, marijuana is seen as somehow worse than alcohol, which blows my mind because both of us know the statistics. Yeah. Alcohol is much worse for any individual than marijuana.
Thank you, Carlos, for those staggering facts. Is there anything else you want to expand on or talk about?
Again, just keep in mind the fact that Child Protective Services is a domestic terrorist agency which has been set on destroying families and children across the United States. Never call CPS if you're dealing with individuals who may or may not be using drugs. Don't call them in those particular cases. Be aware of the problem and try to defend yourself as best as you can.
Yes, and in the previous videos we also went through solutions with Carlos. Carlos, thank you so much for all those staggering facts, all your research, your book, and also helping and volunteering people who need help in these situations for free many of the times. Where can people find you? Where can people buy your book? Where can people support you?
Yeah, again, the book is available on Amazon right now. You can go and just type in Legally Kidnapped, the Case Against Child Protective Services, or go to legallykidnapped.net. I also have another website called cpsvictimsupport.com.
Thank you so much, Carlos. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to click the like button. Don't forget to check out Carlos. He has a lot of great information, staggering facts that everyone needs to know.